Okay, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date, it is November 18th of 2022, and it's 10:45 p.m. And I'm recording this video and the audio using my Beelink mini computer, and I'm using Manicam, but I tried it with OBS, and it's working. The audio is working without the static in the background. I don't know what caused it. I mean, to correct itself. Let me call up the Beelink on Amazon here. Go to orders. And put in Beelink. And this is the Beelink that I purchased in April of 2021. And I got it in. I liked it. I see it's currently unavailable. That's good, because there was a problem with the audio. And as soon as I got it, the company was, aware of it, and they put out, I don't know, notices. But there wasn't any fixes that I could ever run across. And so I purchased a $100 sound card and sound blaster, and that corrected it for months, I guess. And then and of course the problem was there, but for some reason then the problem, well, the problem was always there, but I wasn't using it. I was going through the sound card. But I guess if you've been following me, you know. Anyway, I've messed with things, and it's just been, I would get everything sound just perfect. I was so happy. And then I would get the static thing coming back. I mean, it wasn't just low-level static. It was like frying, what we'd call an amateur radio, QRN. QRN? Anyway, bad. And for some reason, I think today or yesterday, maybe it was yesterday, I can't remember, the problem has gone, and I can't take credit for it. I have no idea how I fixed it. Anyway, here's the information on this Beelink. Like I said, I liked this, except for the monstrous problems I had with this off and on, trying to fix whatever appears to be fixed now. The only problem is, I think every time I make a video, I'm going to, wonder if it has come back. There's a whole bunch of these mini PCs, and I think they're pretty neat. The footprint of it is, very small. And, but of course, The and there's other companies that that make these things, and but my advice, if you do get one from somebody, and like I purchased it through Amazon, I could have returned it immediately, but I liked it so much that I just decided, well, I'd handle the problem, and it has caused me hours, days, and weeks of agony. Um, and so, I don't know, maybe last week or something, and I got some advice. It's always nice to get some advice from some of you in the comment section. I got some excellent advice on purchasing. Let me go to Amazon here. Going to some of these refurbished Dell computers. They're refurbished, and they get really good reviews, and the prices are really really good. I'm sure you know about, probably maybe better than I do, but a individual or a company, they go into corporations, major corporations, and smaller little companies. Maybe they only have, I don't know what maybe they only have 10 computers for their company or something, or maybe they have 100 or 1,000. I worked hospital security for 30 years, and like I remember one time the hospital got rid of all of their printers. Now I'm not sure, and okay, when I say all, I'm sure that there are in the lab and a few places, specialized computers that come with some type of, testing stuff. But no, like in the basement of the hospital, that was a research medical center, by the way, in Kansas City. Gigantic area there were just printers stacked up there, and I was on duty or dispatched or whatever when a company showed up with a big truck, and they had purchased, at a big discount. A lot of times okay, I don't know. Well, like St. Luke's, I had a friend that he had a BBS like I did back in the early days. Dave Hallis. He's passed away, but he was a really nice guy, and I learned a lot from him. I had a bulletin board system before he did, but when he started up a bulletin board system, by the way he ran his and ideas that he had, it made me improve, my bulletin board system. But he worked at St. Luke's, and he was working in food service, and I think he had wasn't a great job. I mean, a job is a job, and I've had a lot of jobs, probably more jobs than most of you. Well, I would have, because the stats that YouTube makes available to people who have videos on YouTube, it shows you what who your viewers or the category that they're in. And my category, I'm 81. My viewers are like 99. Sometimes it shows 100%. Of course, that it's not actually, but it's usually 99%, and the age is between 18 to 30. 99% of the viewers of what you're looking at now, Howard's Notebook here, are men. between 18 now. Now I'm sure there are some under 18, but because of the they don't show that because of so. But anyway, between 18 and 30, that's my viewership. So when I say something like I just did about having more jobs and than the rest of you folks, you young whippersnappers, Anyway, Dave Hallis worked, and he was just one of these people who picks up on stuff, and I guess mainly computer and tech type stuff like that. So he worked in food service, and so before long then he was doing stuff in the food service department, and I don't know what he was doing before, I mean, whether it was cleaning food trays or cooking something, or I don't have no idea. I can't remember actually. And before long, though, in the food service dietary department, he was fixing computer problems, and stuff. And then before long, the hospital moved him over into data processing type of situation. I think he was mainly still a hardware person, but he was smart. And anyway, one time he called, well, before long he was in the computer, handling of something came up. Well, let me just say then later after that, there was a cardiologist group at St. Luke's Hospital. And St. Luke's Hospital had excellent cardiology department and doctors in that regard, and they had their group, their own place in the medical building that was probably attached to the hospital and the whole thing. It was, I have a pacemaker put in me, and I've got here in Fort Worth, an excellent cardiologist and group, that is watching out for me. Got a thing sitting back here on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week that's monitoring my heart all the time, over the internet. Anyway, Dave Hallis, these doctors hired him away from the hospital, and he was their data processing person. And as just one example, the cardiologist, and there was 3 of them, did a study of some type that was published. I'm not sure if it was to the New England Journal of Medicine or where it went. It went to all the places that it needed to go to a study, and information and whatever. And Dave Hallis was, helping the doctors, and he played, I guess, a key part. I mean, he wasn't a medical person, he wasn't a doctor, he wasn't an EMT or, but he played a major part. So much so that when they published their, whatever they would call it, study or whatever, there were, 3 names, such and, whatever the name of the thing was, and then the 3 doctors, and then underneath there was, and I forget now what it said, but Dave Hallis got credit for it. Ironically, anyway, Dave Hallis died. He quit the cardiology group and the hospital, and opened on the Plaza. You may have heard of the Plaza, even if you're not in Kansas City, Missouri, or something. A shopping area or whatever, and was one of the first of, I'm not sure what classification. It was one of the first, and every Christmas it's loaded up with Christmas lights and the whole thing. Anyway, he opened what was it? I can't remember now what the shop, what it was. I think it was antiques. So perhaps he was also interested in antiques that I didn't know about. By the way, Dave Hallis had to overcome a big obstacle. He stuttered really bad, really, really bad. And yet he, but he opened up the shop. I'm not sure how long. I don't think it was open very long. He opened up on the plaza, and at some point he had, I'm not sure how long he had it, but he had some heart problems. And so he went in for surgery, on his heart, and he, uh, died during the surgery or right after the surgery or something. So I miss Dave Hallis. Anyway, I got sidetracked. Anyway, Dave Hallis called me up when he was working for the St. Luke's Hospital, and he says, and this is back when computers were, pretty. Well, I wasn't using Radio Shack Model 1 anymore. Wasn't using the Tandy 2000 anymore. I wasn't using, but wasn't using the radio. Did I say Radio Shack Model 1? Anyway, I was using like a PC, but it was, the olden days, before you young whippersnappers were born. And he called me up and he says, do you need some computers? And I said, well, what have you got or something? I can't remember exactly what I said, And St. Luke's Hospital was replacing all of their PCs. And so he brought over like 5 or 6 of them, and monitors. And the monitors, so for some of the monitors he brought over, it had actually burned in. You could see that they had been in the dietary department. It said, on the screen, had been burned in because it had been sitting so long, and you could see it, that they'd been in the. And I really didn't need the monitors, and the monitors weren't that great. But he brought a bunch of, computers over. I really couldn't use them either. I mean, I gave them away because they were pretty basic. Because, they were on a LAN system or whatever, sort of, and they were set up just to, but anyway, how long have I been talking? Oh, by the way, I'm using for this Manicam, but it appears that OBS is working also, so the next video you'll see I'll probably be using OBS to give it a try. What was I going to do? Oh, I wanted to show you oops. Yeah, here is, I can't remember the name of the you'll see below, well, I'm not sure below here, but in the comments someplace, he made some recommendations on these, and you can see, these are, well, this one here is the Dell Mini Tower, an i5, gives the information on it. I actually put on my wish list, I think an i7, and I think it's like $199 or something. I'm looking here at, and you can see it too, i5, $164. i5, $109. Let's see. I don't see that. i7, $400. But so now I'm not sure. Here in a few days I was going to order one of these at about $200. Anyway, when the company goes and buys these from a hospital or manufacturing plant or wherever they buy these things, they really they blow the dust out of them and do the things and fix the things that need to be fixed. I'm sure probably some come into them that they don't want to bother making a fix to something, and they just pass those on to some other company that takes those, and those that are sold here supposedly, and I believe through Amazon. The Amazon has some standards, and the people have to be, the company that's doing these refurbishing, has to be approved and everything. And for me, pretty kick-ass computers, and I'm wondering whether I should actually go with an i7 for like $200, or whether I should just go with an i5 for $180. I really don't think I need the i7. It's not a matter of the $20 or 30. It's what's like some of these. They have a whole bunch. I can scroll down here and you can see. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them. Now, some of them come with a keyboard and a mouse. I don't need their mouse, I'm sure, and I don't need their keyboard. I've got some good mice. I don't know if I can get it up that high. Oh yeah, Logitech G502, and I've got some good keyboards too in the closet, So if you have a recommendation, go ahead and leave below what what you think. Anyway, if I can find the guy's recommendation here, it's in one of the previous videos in the comment section. What I'll do, and he recommends like he says, hey, any one of these would be a good good thing. I'll move that below and put it, or you can come. I'll put the link for like here for this one that's on the screen now. But you can go there and you can look around at these, and if you see something that you think, and if you if that's like your specialty or whatever. I've got, in fact, sitting right here that's dead. It's been dead for a long time. A PC i5, and in it is a a kick-ass, well, I'm not sure if it's a kick-ass now, kick-ass video card that I got from my grown grandson. He's big into games. And then I have another video card that is better than the one that's in this. I guess I think I can turn this camera over there and you can, there it is. There it is right there, just sitting there. I'll move it, you know, when I'll be moving it here before long. I just brought it out because I was going to try to mess with it, and I couldn't even get it to come on. And I know when I put it in that closet that, well, maybe I didn't. I'm 81 years of age. Oh, anyway, I have, my grandson also, you know, he gave me at the same time another video card. He gave me 2 video cards that he'd been using. And the one that was, well, hey, I'm over here. He gave me a video card that's around here someplace that much better. Because he's one of those people who, I'm not even going to say how much he spent for a couple video cards. Oops, we're tilted now. So, I used to sell stuff, well, I used to sell a little bit of stuff on eBay. Is that it? What's the place everybody sells stuff? And the ex-wife, she was selling a whole bunch of stuff. She started out selling VHS tapes, and then she went to, you know, DVDs when they came along, and then she was ordering in some jewelry from China and selling that and stuff, you know, very inexpensively. And she didn't mind. In order to make a buck, you know, she didn't mind wrapping something up and shipping. And I hate sending stuff. I did it, I mean, you know, for a while, and I was a lot of times taking her mail to the mailbox for her and stuff like that. Anyway, if I can find that thing, I'll bring it over, put it below the list of the guy, 3 that he recommended. The Amazon deal is, I think, really, really good. It's eligible for return, refund, or replacement within 90 days. You can add some excessive, things, which about this item. All computers are loaded with a fresh install and activated Windows 10 with 0 bloatware. Your very own genuine refurbished Windows 10 COA sticker will be attached to the PC and in some cases maybe under the battery. System RAM type DDR4, package weight, operating system Windows 10 Pro, so forth and so on. So it sort of looks like you couldn't go wrong with this. And I'm sure you all know, just like I do, that returning stuff to Amazon is not a problem. I mean, there's a lot of times I got something in it, I didn't even bother to return, or something that just didn't, I just have it on the shelf here or something, something that works, but I don't, and I've given stuff away. I gave a Chrome box computer and everything. The kid didn't take the monitor because he was just going to plug it into a television. So, anyway, I asked him if he needed a computer, and he said, "Oh yeah, I'd love to have it." I'd say he's about 10 or 11, and they sort of just moved in not long ago. They've been here a while, but anyway, I said, could you use a computer? Oh yeah, yeah. He says, I have a computer at school, but we have to leave the computer at school. He says, oh, he says it's a Chrome computer. And I said, well, what I have for you is a Chrome computer, So I gave it to him, working great for him, And his little sister, she's, I don't know, a year or two younger than he is. He said, she was like kind of excited, And he said something about his sister, And I said, I got something for her then, And I gave her an Amazon tablet thing because I had purchased one of the Next, because they're so cheap, I had purchased, which I never used. I never used any of those, I think it's laying here someplace. Oh, here it is. Let's see. By the way, please, that link that's running above, please use that. It doesn't cost you anything, and I get a commission if you use one of the Amazon links. And what you need to do, is just use that link, bookmark it or something, make a thing for your desktop or something. So you just click on it, because if all you have to do is just go there, and when you go there, some stuff, and don't pay any attention to that page it's set up or whatever because I haven't updated it. But you just go there. That's where you end up at Amazon if you use that link. And then if you log out, you go to CNN, you're not logged in, it's not on your browser, or whatever. And if you leave and then you go back, and you don't use the link, then I won't get credit. But I know people don't like, people don't like to use links. I don't know why. I think it's something to do, even though you young whippersnappers weren't around back in the old days, people just thought that they didn't click on links. I had, I don't know how many diary, I can't think of all the names of them because I was around as as these things came, and I signed up for them, and I had a WordPress site going for years and years, and all types of stuff, and on the WordPress thing, it'd be, there'd be text and all kinds of material, and along down the side would be a very few links that you could click on, and nobody clicked on it. I think our brains were just designed they didn't even appear, it didn't even appear to us. One reason I know that is because I had some things on the side, that people could click on that nobody clicked on. And like sometimes somebody would mention something, but usually it was me. I'd have something, on the, a little ad or something on the side, or a little thing, um, and I've been using my computer every day like I do now, all day long, and then wait a minute, finally, after months maybe, oh, I misspelled the word. And then I'd go over and, correct it on the little ad or whatever it was. It's too bad that people didn't pay attention to to the things. Before PayPal, I forget, I think it seemed to me like it was called something or whatever, a bank, started up before PayPal. And I forget what it was. If you put $10 in or something, they gave you credit for $25 or $50 or something to get people. Then eventually I'm not sure if they didn't exist anymore. And then PayPal existed, and PayPal did the very same thing. So anyway, I was telling people, hey, you can, and it was a good deal. I mean, and I don't think very many people paid attention at all. And to show you how people just don't pay attention, like I said, I've been blogging since 1982, and but not later than 1982, but whenever Apple came out with their first cell phone, people around the world, Apple was coming out with a cell phone. People around the world were waiting outside for days, maybe weeks, were waiting outside to get in to purchase one. And because I was, I wasn't interested in one, but there was a website, and they had a thing, leave a comment on our site and you'll be in for a drawing for the Apple cell phone when it's released, and of course I'm watching the news, and there's people, in New York City and wherever there was an Apple store, camping out for 3 or 4 days or whatever, and I thought, I've never even gone to like Black Friday sales or whatever, where you had to, before you can do it now online, but when you actually had to go to the store, when people were pushing in the doors, and people were dying, employees were crushed of whatever. I mean, I never went to any of those things. I'm not going to, But anyway, I signed up. I left a comment, on this site, and then on my bulletin board system or WordPress thing or whatever it was at that time, whatever year Radio Shack came out with, or not Radio Shack, that Apple came out with it. So I was telling people like you, hey, there's this site, and when the Apple computer is released, you can get one if you leave a comment, and then they'll pick random number generator or whatever, and the odds, your odds of winning it are extraordinary. You should go over there and leave a comment, and your chances of winning, because the number of people who were doing it was very low. I think less than 25 or something. And I said, and I don't think anybody even went over, because they just tune that, they tune that stuff out. Sometimes you shouldn't tune it out. Now I sit here and, cuss, God damn, with the stuff that emails you get, and that type of stuff. But anyway, I went, of course, to that site and I filled it out and I won the contest. And, but because they couldn't get, an Apple, the cell phone. I mean, I could have waited and waited, and because they were, trying to get one because I won, and then finally they said, well, will you take money instead? And I did, and like with that first bank that opened up, seems like it was something, and then when PayPal opened up, I got the money. I got the whatever it was, $50 or something or other. And so don't be stupid and get sucked in by any of these, schemes. A long time ago, who was it? Major chip manufacturer, not Apple now, but what was it back then, where the chips were? Intel, is that it? The word came out that Intel had a new chip, and that it had each chip had a unique number, so it would people would be able to tell, or corporations or businesses or whatever. And I said, and I blogged about it and stuff. Fantastic idea. That'll put a stop to these hackers and scammers and all, and porn type, a bunch of the porn stuff, all that type of stuff. I said, that's great. There wasn't anybody else in the world that thought that was a good idea. that agreed with me. There wasn't nobody in the world wanted their system to be, that somebody could ID it, know it. And then Intel said, "Oh, no, well, we have no idea. We don't know how that. Where did that idea come? No, but oh no, that was it." So, but that's what we needed. What we needed then, and that's what we need now. And I talked a little bit. I won't go into that because it's old news, But I said, no, if you log in, I even mentioned, if you log in, I forget what the thing, if you log in and you're ordering adult diapers or condoms or whatever you're ordering, with this ID thing, it's not going to show that, Jim Howard ordered Ditto or whatever, It's not going to show that, but there would be a way, if the police raided a site, child porn site where children are being, actually used, not just pictures of them, but actually, something really bad, the police could get a warrant, and then if your ID number was there, you're going to have some explaining to do or something like that. But no, nobody in the world wanted that type of a system. I wish we had something like that. Because I'm just tired of the crap of these, the things where they send you a thing, my husband, Abdul Sa Bom Ding Dong, or whatever it was, the head of the bank of Zimbabwe, whatever. And he died, but he has, 2 tons of gold, and I have access to it. So send me money and I'll, whatever. And I go, oh, they were just, the calls where they, where they call up and say they're the Internal Revenue Service and there's a warrant for your arrest and send us money immediately and all this type of stuff. You could put you could put a stop to stuff like that, but nobody wants it but me, and okay. Okay, the rest of you are stupid. That's just kidding. Anyway, this video is 45 minutes long. Please, I wanted to comment again on this. You know, I've Amazon, this Amazon thing, for the last, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 months, I've been getting about $10 a month. That's how much I'm making by people clicking on things. Last year about this time, just before Christmas or whatever, I had 2 months in a row where I got $70 each month. And that may not seem like well, probably it does seem, because again, they're my demographics, 18 to 30 years of age, people just starting out, guys just starting out, so, but if some of you would be using the link, if I got $70 every month, which isn't much, that would help out a lot. I could purchase things. I could purchase something like this, except maybe I could spend $1,000 or something and get a brand new one or something or other, instead of having to wait, So please try to use this link, and going to upload this, and I hope the audio works, and then maybe I won't do it today. It's 11 o'clock right now here, 11 p.m. I hate that time change, especially with me and my lifestyle or whatever. When I wake up, I never know if it's what time. I never know what time it is, and if I do wake up, now it's like dark, and when I go to bed, it's every time I wake up, it's dark. It seems like so, and I worked at a hospital, small hospital, and I worked every time there was I wasn't scheduled. There was 2 of us sent out there when the place opened, and that's all. There was one, we didn't work the same shift or anything, and went out there, and he said, well, how are we going to do the schedule or whatever? And I said, I'll just work, these 4 days. I'll work 2 12-hour shifts and 2 8-hour shifts. And I told him, I said, I'd work. He wasn't too smart, by the way. But, I was getting, I was doing giving him a big break. So, and for Christmas and New Year's and Thanksgiving, I think it was, I worked all of those. And I explained to him when I said, I'll work those, and I said, now you realize I'll be working every Christmas, every New Year's, every Christmas Eve, every, Thanksgiving Eve, and all those things. And I said, in a few years, then the schedule each year, kind of moves because of the calendar or something or other. And so the days of the week, and I said in 5 years or something like that, then the schedule will fall, you'll get the schedule, and you'll be working, those days or whatever. So I did that, so I was working every time the time change happened, It was kind of a pain. But anyway, after the 5 years or 6 years or whatever, I said, well, now at this point, you're going to be working, uh, every Thanksgiving and every Christmas or whatever. And well, he says, that's not fair. I said, what? I said, I've done it every. And anyway, so I obliged him or whatever, and, then we split, you know, for a while the days. He was something else. Anyway, people, especially you young whippersnappers, thank you very much for watching.